Well, hi, everyone. I'm AJ Willoughby, back with y'all after missing last week. But Dr. Tippleman and Dave Webb got things going for us. This week, though, this is what I'm really excited about. You never know what's going to happen. And tonight we have got Deidre Howard, who is the formulator for Reveal. Reveal is our skincare. It is so much more. In fact, you're going to find out a little bit about it. This is not just something that is a girl thing. This is also a majorly for guys also. And although tonight I have a bunch of women joining me, so I'm outnumbered majorly tonight. Deidre, thank you so much for being on the call. Tell us what have we gotten ourselves into tonight? What is it?
Exactly. What have you got yourself into? Well, these are a few of my friends, and we are 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can tell, yeah, we're 4 days away from 1 month since Reveal was launched to the U.S. and Canadian market. The other markets got a little bit later, not too much later. Some people are getting their tubes for the first time. In the UK, they're just starting to get their tubes, and it's exciting. But we got some stuff to share tonight about what we have learned in a little over three weeks, right, ladies? And some of it does have to do with men, even though we're the voice of all of that. In fact, Renee's going to share a little bit about her son, maybe. That would be awesome. And I just thought we'd share what we've learned. And clearly you can go onto the Reveal 8-in-1 Facebook page and request to be added, and I'll add you. And you'll see so many testimonials. And I don't just put the questions on there that make the product look good. I put questions on there about everything. And so you're getting answers and questions, and it's just going to, most of them's good though, I'm not gonna lie. But the thing that's crazy about it is within just a couple, within the first couple of weeks, people are getting used to how to use it on their face and loving it. And all this stuff, they're like, I wonder if this is good on that, or this, or that, or this, that. And I actually have to get in Facebook every once in a while and go, you do remember this is a skincare product, right? But it's so awesome. Somebody said to me the other day, it's the new Windex from isn't it the Big Fat Greek Wedding, right? Is Dad
Yeah.
on everything? It's the new Windex. So that's what this is going to be today, is we're going to talk a little bit about the new Windex, I guess, even though that's a brand. But it's for us, it's the new Reveal. So let's see. Let's start with Renee, just because she looks so great. And I know she's not going to hate. She's not going to hate turning her camera off. So, not that we mind, but I feel you, girl.
This is dedication right here. This
You got that right.
So first
I
of all,
assume we're not putting. She's not putting Reveal in your hair, right?
No, sir. No, sir.
So Reveal. Renee is a Reveal lover. She lives in Washington State, and she's a nurse, an amazing nurse. And you have been using Reveal for how long now?
Oh, let's see. I've been using Reveal for, I guess, 4 weeks now.
I'd say so. You got it a little bit before it came out, didn't you?
A little bit. So maybe 5 weeks.
Maybe 5 weeks.
Yeah.
This might kind of sound silly, but I'm actually going to start with something that Reveal doesn't do. We're going to talk about a ton of stuff that Reveal does do, okay? It's an 8-in-1 product, but if you notice, one of the things that it doesn't say it does is moisturize. A lot about hydration, a lot of other cool stuff, but moisturize. And this is one of the questions that I get a ton of, and that is, I've been using it for a couple days and I'm feeling a dry spot. Moisturize. It's designed for that particular purpose, is to moisturize, because moisturizers are so unique, right? You need different kinds at different times of the year, different times of your life. So that's what Renee is going to talk about. And I really wanted you to share a little bit about your skin and how the Reveal has actually helped with your moisturizing needs, even though you still use a moisturizer.
You got it. No problem. So, and yes, this is dedication. I love this woman. That's the only reason why I'm here like this right now. I got nothing but love for you, Deidre.
I know.
So So I actually went through surgical menopause about 4 or 5 years ago. And anybody who knows anything about menopause, when you have that complete dip in estrogen, your skin is dry. Your skin is dry, your hair is dry, your nails are, everything is just dry. It's like the Sahara Desert. So you have to do extra moisturizing. And one of the things that I started doing before I used Reveal is I went to see an esthetician and I started using like jojoba oil, argan oil, avocado oil, almond oil, shea butter, things like that, more natural on my skin to really put the moisture in. And it helped. It made a difference in my skin. But what I have found with Reveal is that I don't have to do as much oil on my skin as I was doing before, because Reveal exfoliates all that nasty dead skin. It's hydrating it. So I'm having to use less and less, So I'm having to use less and less of the oils, which is great to keep my skin moisturized. I noticed the dry patches are gone. I don't have any more dry patches. I noticed that a lot of my fine lines, because I have a lot of fine lines and wrinkles, a lot of those have been disappearing. And my skin just feels, when I use it, it feels warm. It feels plump. It feels, I don't know, it feels more youthful to me. I feel like my makeup looks better when it's on, because before I would put on my makeup and I felt kind of, not to say anything bad, but that old lady cakey makeup look that we can get when our skin is too dry. And I don't have that anymore. My skin looks, it looks, what am I trying to say? Brighter. It looks more hydrated. So that's been a really great thing for me. And I use it twice a day. So I Reveal in the morning. And when I Reveal in the morning, I just put it on, leave it for the 30 to 45 seconds. I exfoliate, and then I leave it. I just brush off the roly-polies like with a towel or whatever. But I leave it on, and it gives me that extra hydration. And then what I do in the evening is I do the same routine to take off my makeup, but I also use a hot washcloth after that at night to take off the rest of the oils and the dirts and everything from the day off of my skin. And then I use my oils and my shea butter at night. So, whatever moisturizer people use, you should still use your moisturizer. But that's kind of my routine, and it's really been helping a lot. I know you were asking me about my son. I'm happy to share real quick. My son and my husband get horrible razor burn. Horrible. It doesn't matter if they use an electric razor. It does not matter if they use a straight razor. They get horrible razor burn every time they shave. So my son and I did a video, which we're still working on, Deidre. I promise I'll get that done. So we did a video of my son, and he used Reveal for the first time, and we did a straight razor on the top, and then he used an electric razor on the bottom. And what he found was that the hair, it didn't pull his hairs when he shaved, either with the straight razor or the electric razor. And afterwards, we watched him for 3 days straight. He had no razor burn. None whatsoever. He said his skin felt smooth. He got a closer shave than he ever did with either one of those things, and he loves it. My son won't use anything else now.
Thank you, Renee.
You're
awesome.
welcome.
And thanks for being on, even though you're getting your hair done. You're awesome.
Oh, thanks for having me.
If you want to turn off your camera, you can. I get it, girl, so don't even
No,
worry.
it's good. I want to hear everybody. It's good. I don't care.
Okay.
We're all family.
That's right. We're all family.
That is awesome. That is totally awesome. I got to say, I've noticed the same thing, as far as shaving with it. And I go through it, because it's, does the job. But the thing is I've really noticed it has made things softer. It makes it smoother. It is, I'm not feeling the razor burn. And I never noticed that. In fact, I didn't think about that until you just mentioned it. It's like, wait a minute. I used to have razor burn, especially around here, and I haven't been having that anymore. Now I know why, because I never, sometimes, we use the products and different things go away and we don't realize that, oh, let's put 2 and 2 together. We forget about the fact that you were dealing with that until you get reminded, oh, you had that before. It's like, oh, so it's a good thing.
That's why it's so important to It's so important to take a before picture, even if it's just for yourself, you guys. Take a before picture regardless of what you're putting it on, because now we're going to venture away from the face to other places. But take that before picture, even if it's just for you, because you forget, right? And those pictures really bring that back to you. I'll say one other thing about all that skin you have to work with there, AJ, is that somebody posted today, how do you get 60 uses out of this tube? It's been 3 weeks. I think I'm almost out. Do I have too big of a face? And I was tempted to say, are you bald? Like, yeah, because you might go through more than one tube. I'm not going to lie, right?
I do.
But what I'm going to say about that, everybody, is there's absolutely 30 days worth of product in there, using it morning and at night. If you have to open up your tube, cut it open, don't be afraid to do that. A lot of people do. There's going to be a good amount still in there, but your very first tube, as you guys kind of get to know each other and you go on a couple of dates, you know, you kind of get to know your reveal. You might use a little too much, a little too little. You'll get into that 1 gram, 1 mil per day, and you'll be getting 60 plus out of there. So just be patient with the process with that first tube. And I promise there's plenty in there. You'll eke by, but there's plenty in there. Okay, so who do you want to go to next? AJ, you get to pick.
Oh, let's go to Leslie.
Leslie.
Yay!
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, AJ. How are you?
Doing good.
Good.
So, now you've got a story for us, right?
I do. My son, he's 12, and we are on the East Coast by the water. My husband's a waterman. We have always been around the water. However, my son, he has 2 colors. He goes from Casper to angry emoji in 5 minutes flat. He just.
I have never heard it put that way. Having your skin tone compared to a ghost and an emoji.
We're all using emojis nowadays. So, you know, this gives you a visual. It's awful. Now, as a mom, I would be not doing my job if I didn't slather him in sunscreen. In fact, we were out at this one particular time for about 4 hours at the beach. And, you know, he gets a big old thick coating on him. He goes out halfway in between, he gets another coat, goes back out to play. And about that 3.5 hour mark, they come in because they're starving. What 12-year-old isn't? And I'm noticing he's getting a little pinkish. So I'm like, geez. So I slather him again. And then after, I would say about another 45 minutes, I'm like, I think we need to go because you just still look red. And so we leave. And that night after he gets out of the shower, he turns into like this tomato, bright red. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? He's had lots of blisters and things like that. And so I'm like, I just can't see him in that pain. And so I'm thinking, okay, I know I want to give him the course so that he's, you know, avoiding the inflammation in that dangerous skin. And as soon as I had that thought, my mind turns the reveal. That's going to do it because it's got the 8-in-1 in it and it's going to go directly on his skin. And I'm thinking to myself, should I put it on the blisters or not? And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess maybe I'll avoid the blistered shoulders. So we put it on his face. Literally was in agony with his shoulders. I'm asking him about his face. He's like, no, my face is fine. So a few hours later, I put it on his shoulders because he's still complaining. And so I'm like, what does it feel like? Does it burn? Does it hurt? Tell me, speak to me. And he's like, it's fine. It's fine. It's hot, but it's not like stinging. And he had been complaining of stinging. So I was like, well, as long as it's getting better and not getting worse, this stuff isn't going to kill you. So at least it's not making it worse. The next morning, it was barely pink. It took all of that burn. It took all of that I don't know whatever sunburn does, it, you know, cooking your skin is not healthy, but it took that heat out and it took that inflammation, and it just all went away. He had no blisters, where, you know, how you can just start to see the little white spots and it starts blistering. He had none of that. It was all gone. It wasn't down to tan, but it was just pink, where he had been just 12 hours prior, like fire engine red. So we kept putting it on him, not exfoliating, not rubbing, just that thin coat. We actually didn't even rub at all. It was just a matter of patting it on. And so we did that that next morning. The next night we did it. And I noticed even patting it on, you could see where parts of his skin had started to like crack. So it's like, okay, I see where he's going to start peeling. So I'm like, okay, now I think maybe we should rub it. And this is Monday morning, because Saturday he got the burn. Saturday night he got just the tapping. Sunday morning and Sunday night he got the tapping. Monday morning, I said, I want to try and get roly-polies. And he's like, you're going to do what? And I was like, trust me. And so we just started rubbing it on, and I'll be doggone, he didn't even really peel, because as we did the rolling, the best thing I can say is not using our fingertips, but the padded parts of our fingers, because I didn't want to hurt. I always think of, I've never been sunburned, so I don't know how that feels. So
wow, that's a testimony in and of itself.
Well, I was raised at the beach, so my skin is very used to being in the sun, but I've just never burned. So I don't know how it feels. I just the thought of it burning is like stinging. It's like, so as a mom, I'm concerned, but he never complained of it hurting. It never really peeled. Other than the fact of they were doing the rubbing from the with the 8-in-1, it's like it just pulled it off very gently, leaving fresh, clean, non-damaged skin underneath.
That's incredible. And now, Deidre, I would assume that the reason that we're seeing the results like that is because the mangosteen that is in the reveal. Tell us what else. And is that true?
Yes, definitely. The mangosteen is going right there and helping with inflammation. So that's a big one. And also the aloe vera. We have a really high quality of aloe vera, and we all know that that's great. So it's cooling it down. There's other things in there that helps with inflammation too, but it's also giving it enough moisturizer and hydration that it's not going to peel in a traditional way, right? And then the exfoliation is so gentle that, when you peel, it comes off, and then you see this baby white stuff under there that's even sometimes pink or raw, right? Because so much of that dead skin comes off at the same time. So with the magic of the liquid Velcro, it's happening in a healthy way. While that skin's being exfoliated, the skin underneath it is being built up and supported. One thing Renee said about the older you get, or if you go into menopause, your estrogen levels go down. The other thing happens when your estrogen levels go down is your elastin and collagen, which is what builds that healthy skin. One of the infrastructure of that slows down. Well, with young kids, it doesn't slow down as much, right? But you got to be able to give it the building blocks to build that new skin. And so we have all the essential and non-essential amino acids you need to build healthy skin. So we have lowering the inflammation, protecting the skin while it builds, and then very slowly removing the dead skin so you get the healthy stuff, and it's not so drastic from the burn.
Oh, that's incredible. That's great. Leslie, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so let's move on now, and let's go to Andrea. And Andrea, where are you from, Andrea?
I am out of Tennessee.
Out of Tennessee, my hometown, Nashville, Tennessee is where, yeah, we love it. Anyways, so tell us a little bit about your story.
Okay, which do you want to talk about? Would you rather talk about?
I want to talk about her husband's tattoo, because this is something that's new that a lot of people here, we're just learning it. So this is brand new info, everybody. Okay. So
Yeah.
because he was daring enough, he's a firefighter. So he was daring enough. He had a brand new tattoo. This is a tattoo renewal, because you're seeing a ton of that on the Facebook page, right? This is a brand new tattoo for aftercare. So I went into some tattoo parlors. So did Andrea, and I think Shannon did. So there's a bunch of us that went in and asked a question about aftercare, because we thought, the Reveal could really help with that. It's doing so much to renew a tattoo. But it was a little daring because we didn't know what was going to happen. Is going to take up some of the ink. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So usually a tattoo, Andrea, I'm just going to ask you, from getting a tattoo done to it being healed and basically finished going through its process, because you're putting 1,000 gazillion needles in your arm with a foreign body going inside the skin. Very deep in, right? It's not the surface. But how long does it usually take for that to heal and be like good?
So the best that I know is about 2 weeks. With the best case scenario being about a week and a half. That's kind of what they told him to expect when we left the chair.
So talk to him about what you did, and they weren't even perfect about it, but I'm very grateful that he was daring enough to do this, because you pay that much for ink, nobody wants to mess it up, right? But what if it actually improved the end product? And so he was willing to do that. So Andrea, just kind of share a little bit about what we're looking at here. We got the picture up.
Okay, so so basically while we were sitting there with him in the chair, we started kind of a dialogue, like, okay, what does aftercare look like? I had 8-in-1 in my hand. I didn't know that at the time. But they were telling us, well, some people have you do this, some artists have you do this. And he said, actually, the guy in the booth next to us, all he has his people do is put coconut oil on after the Tegaderm comes off. And I was like, ding. I was like, that's awesome. Okay, so that's something that's really awesome. And he said, you can do Motrin or something like that if it's like inflamed or whatever. And I thought, ding, there's another one, that Reveal can take care of. And so, he said, it'll probably take about 2 weeks for it to heal. But after that, you're more than welcome to come back in and get recolored or, touch-ups along the way if you need it. And so we were like, okay, sounds great. So keep in mind, this was 2 weeks ago on Wednesday. So 2 days from now, it'll be 2 weeks. The picture on the left, that is directly after the protective Tegaderm has come off. Nothing else had been applied to it. He hadn't even washed it at this point. So this is the freshest fresh that you could possibly take a picture of it after it was done, really. So he goes in and he puts antibacterial soap on it. He cleans it. And we went back and forth about, okay, do we try this? Like it's do or don't, like at this point. And he was like, yeah, I mean, we get a free touch up. So the worst case scenario, we get it touched up. And I said, okay, well, let's do it. So we took the Reveal and we did much like Leslie did for her son. We used a dab method. It's sensitive. He actually said that it's kind of like a sunburn when it's a fresh tattoo. So we just we dabbed it on there thick, so not like, you could see the product on there, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And we let it set. We didn't exfoliate it off or anything like that. We just let it absorb into his skin. And the crazy thing is about 20 minutes later, he was like, I don't know if this is the Reveal or what it is, but it doesn't hurt anymore. Like it doesn't sting anymore. And I was like, I just kind of laughed. I was like, are you serious? And he said, yeah, it doesn't hurt at all. So Deidre mentioned he's a firefighter. So on Thursday, he had to go to work. And he works 24-hour shifts, which means I was dialoguing with other people about 8-in-1, and I didn't think to send a sample with him. So he actually went a full 24 hours without any product. The second picture is the morning after he got home. So it's about a day and a half after the tattoo was completed. He washed it and then put 8-in-1 on it again using the dab method. He did that twice that day. And then that third picture, if you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but I have posted this in one of the reveal groups so you can get a better look at it. When he woke up on the, let's see, that would have been the first, second, third day, fourth day, it was peeling all over the place. And we were like, oh my goodness, but it wasn't like the skin that was coming off of it. You can see it's kind of, it's tinted, but not dyed, not saturated. Kind of down there you go. Oh, perfect. Right, kind of in the quadrant of the numbers. I mean, it was just really, really peeling. And he said, this doesn't usually happen. He has several tattoos. And he said, this doesn't usually happen, at least for a week. He said, and he was really impressed by it, that it was coming, that it was peeling, but that it wasn't pulling the ink out. And it was just really good, really good to go. He said it was a little itchy because it was peeling. So what he did is he got up and went and did antibacterial soap on it. We put another application on it. And the fourth picture there is after he washed with antibacterial soap. It pretty well, the skin just came off with the soap totally and completely. We went ahead and dabbed again for another 2 days, and he's been good to go. So literally what usually has taken him 2 weeks, literally was pretty much done in like 4.5 to 5 days, which totally like blew both of our minds. Now, one thing I do want to say, AJ, would you mind to zoom into day 2, or that second picture there for me real quick? On this one thing that I did want to say, again, this was the first time this had been done. We didn't really know what to expect. If you look at the top 3, right straight to the right of that, there's little dots there. And he said, right there. He said, hey, there's little dots coming up on this. Come look at it. And I said, oh, I'm sure it's just the roly-polies. And he said, no, I don't think so. Well, it was actually little whiteheads. Okay, it was little whiteheads that came up. But if you think about it, this is skincare. And that's exactly what it's going to do to your face, right? It's going to pull out those impurities that are in there, bring them to the surface so they can get out. So we were really like, oh my goodness, what is this going to do? Is this going to ruin the ink? So we just watched it. And if you can just go straight over to the fourth picture and keep that like that area. Yep. If you go all the way over. Okay, so you can see straight to the right of that 3, there's nothing missing. It totally took care of itself. I'm guessing, I mean, obviously I'm no expert on it, but I'm guessing that when it soaked into the skin, it just took care of whatever it was that was in there. It did away with it. The ink is intact. Everything looks fantastic. There's no missing ink or anything on there. We were just, I mean, to say that we were floored was an absolute understatement.
That is totally awesome. That really, really is.
This is a new discovery, you guys. How many tattoo parlors are out there that want to know this information, right? So this is exciting. And again, I've thanked Andrea's husband a bunch of times for being willing to do this. But she got one more quick story to tell you, and then we do have to get to Shannon, because Shannon's got, so, I mean, you're gonna have to go fast, Shannon, so get ready, okay?
So real quick, hang on a minute, Deidre. I'm curious, Andrea. So it reduced the healing time of tattoo from what, 3 weeks to? Is that right?
2 weeks. 2 weeks for about 5 days.
From 2 weeks to about 5 days. That is incredible.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it's brightening tattoos. They're used older tattoos and everything also too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this
pretty
is
incredible.
Definitely is something where the guys need to come in and use this as far as that. That's incredible. Okay, Deidre, go ahead.
Well, I was going to have her finish up with her son, and I know it is a big deal. I don't want this to go too long, and there's just so much that we want to share, right? What I want to say about the Whiteheads, and she contacted me. She's like, oh no, this might be bad news, because we this is new territory. I'm not going to pretend like I know anything about ink. I have no ink on me. Like, I don't know. That's why I went to a tattoo parlor first, because I'm like, and they're like, we don't, let us know how it works out. That's kind of what they said. But yeah, I said, listen, the whole theory behind the reveal is this: you give the skin what it needs, and it's going to take care of itself. So just let's let the skin, it's an organ, it's an amazing organ. I say this all the time. People are like, you say that all the time. It's because it's true, and there's proof, right? Is it just took care of itself. There was no rubbing, there was nothing. It just handled itself. So it's awesome. Okay, so tell us about yourself real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So sorry if there's echo. I lost my natural lighting. Okay, just real quick. He's 15 years old. In the height of puberty and everything else. And basically he had gotten to the point where he wanted to actually grow his hair out to cover his face, which obviously wouldn't have helped anything, because he was just so broken out. He was just embarrassed in social settings. And I shared Reveal with him, and he was like, Mom, what if this doesn't work? But really cool thing happened. It was day 3 or day 4. He looked night and day different. And he agreed to let me take pictures of him and use it to share with other people. He actually said on day 3, he said, Mom, when I go back to youth group, they're going to wonder who the new kid is. Like, he has such a confidence now. It warms my heart as his mom, because I couldn't do that for him before. So gosh, hats off, and thank you so much for all of your hard work I know that's kind of part of your creation story, and let me just tell you, it has changed our lives. Truly.
And I love her son. He's so sweet. He's just the sweetest thing ever. He checks in with me all the time. He's like, Miss Deidre, what about this? Miss Deidre, what about this? So and he's such a good looking boy. So the girls love him because it's just getting better every day.
That's awesome. All right, so let's go to our last guest here, Shannon and Deidre. Shannon, take it away. Tell us, what's the story here?
So Shannon has done 60 plus demos. I gave her a challenge the day she got her tube. I said, you empty that tube, I'll send you a prize. I did. And she's like, I take your challenge. What'd you say, Shannon?
In a week. You said in a week.
Yes, in a week. That's right. In a week. You empty that tube in a week, I'll send you a prize. And I got it. Like, it's going in the mail. It's right over there. So it's that process. And the reason why I talk so much about going and demoing this is because everybody's skin is so different, and this is self-regulating, right? So I want you to get used to trying it on different people, because you see how it responds differently, and you're like, okay, and you get a real feel of its potential. Well, she took that to heart, and I said this live, so everybody heard it, and I know you don't care, but I said, Jenna has quite a few family members that have skin challenges. So it was kind of like, she's like, I can do this. So share a little bit about what you learned, not only about the reveal, but about using it with different skin challenges and different skin types.
Oh man, there's so many to think about, because the first person I had a chance to try it on was my dad, and I was just telling him about it, and he's like, well, just do a demo on my hand, I want to see it. And my dad is not one to spend any money on any there's 8 kids in my family, and so we grew up, pinching all the pennies, and he's not one to buy stuff for himself. So it was just, here, get some experience, try it on my hands. He's got working man hands. They are dry, they are cracked, they are damaged. And I put it on his hands, and he didn't get any roly-polying, and that was my very first experience. So I'm like, I don't know. So he just put it on. My mom put it on the same time that he did. She's got it's a little cancer spot on her hand that got treated, and it's healed, but it's dry and always shedding skin. And so they both tried it on the same day, and he texted me 3 days later, he's like, we need to talk about this reveal stuff. And my first thought is, he's going to be, you know, either asking me about, you know, what's in it, or saying this is really terrible stuff, or I broke out, or whatever. I don't know. But he's like, here, Shannon, come feel my hands. They're still soft. And he only tried it one time, just like the smallest little amount, like on this part of his hand. He didn't even do his whole hand. And it was still soft 3 days later. It's not something that he's familiar with. And so he was super excited, and they didn't hurt. He's got some sores on his hands. I think he said that they're warts of some kind. And so with the dead skin building up constantly, they get really sore and inflamed. And he said that those whole 3 days, the spots where he used the reveal were completely pain-free and soft. And my mom, there are 4 of my siblings that still live in her house, 2 grandkids, and there's people there all the time. She's constantly got her hands in the water, washing dishes, you know, doing things. And her hands still, she doesn't use gloves to wash dishes, and her hands were still soft 3 days later. So they were my first customers. I was able to get a tube before it was released, from one of the M guys. So that was the old version. And then they're like, okay, as soon as this releases, I need it. Not yet, honey. Anyway, so they were my first customers. And then from there, I had my, sister has really bad psoriasis. She's had it for 12 years. And I'm like, let's do a scalp treatment. And I asked Deidre how to do that. And so we did. And I did a scalp treatment. And we didn't use a whole lot of product on our hair. I would definitely recommend doing it with a syringe or something with a tinier spout to get it directly on the scalp, especially if you're using it with long hair. But I did a scalp treatment for her, and she woke up the next morning and said, it's the first time in 12 years I woke up and didn't feel like I had to itch my head. So that was huge for her as well. And then my brother's girlfriend has extreme psoriasis, and you guys may have seen the pictures of that. It's really severe. And she did like a mask treatment where you just dab it and dry and leave it alone, and then wash it off in the morning and then use it like a regular thing. She did that, and she said that with that treatment alone, she experienced more relief than she has with any other combination of treatments. She normally has to shower like 3 times, apply 4 to 5 different things to her skin to get the result.
I do want to say that everything that she's sharing right now is on the Reveal 8-in-1 Facebook page. If you want to go see it, the personal testimony of it. So go read it yourself. But she's been so good at documenting all of it.
And then, so we also did a more extreme treatment for her, and the results were even better. And so she's absolutely obsessed with it.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So so many different challenges. I got a chance to try the Reveal on my tattoo before I got it touched up. So I got to see the brightening, and then I got it touched up, and then I got to try it on the aftercare, and it was 4 days of healing and done. So that was awesome too. Yeah, and I'm just have a bottle in my purse all the time. I've tried it on so many different people, mostly just hand demos. And honestly, the biggest thing that I could tell you guys when it comes to doing demos is get contact information, because 60 demos and not having a whole lot of sales from that is only because I can't contact people, because I didn't even get their names. Not all of them. I got some. It's a learning process.
One more experience of your own personally, though, that just happened recently.
Oh, my arm, this thing, was that one?
Yeah. We didn't know if it was going to work or not, right? It was a new thing that we hadn't tried before.
Yeah. Okay. So that one, I think I actually got it treated the same day that I got my first bottle of the current Reveal. I I found out that I had a couple spots of melanoma on one on my arm and one on my leg. And I just went in for, you know, a regular physical, and the doctor saw it and she's like, we got to treat that. We got to get it taken care of now. So I was freaking out a little bit, but I had it treated. And I don't know if you guys have ever experienced that, but when they do it with the liquid nitrogen, it hurts, first of all. But then after a little while, it starts to create a blister. And it's really weird and obnoxious. But anyway, I put the Reveal on it the day after I had it treated. And it was blistering really, really bad, just super full of fluids. And less than 10 minutes later, both the one on my leg and the one on my arm were totally flat. The fluids had been, I don't know, absorbed or taken off. I don't know. They went completely flat. And then it's been about 2 weeks, and the one on my arm, it just looks like a scar now. It does, like, you can't even tell, like, I had it treated. There's no scabbing, nothing. And I don't know, it looks really good. And I've had a chance to post some pictures of that as well. So
that's great. Thank you so much, Shannon. I'll tell you, we have heard some incredible stories. And I know we're running out of time here, but you know, these stories are just, you know, we're gonna have to do more on the product call about Reveal, because the stories just go on and on of the stuff that, you know, we had no idea that it would do this, and some of the results that people have been using it for. Everything from, like you said, from the skin melanoma to tattoos to the sunburns to even it was mentioned, you know, someone mentioned in the chat thing about mosquito bites, and putting it on a mosquito bites going away. Here we are going into the fall where the mosquitoes get really bad, and you know, that's something that is helps with. So it's incredible on what's going on. Deidre, we've got an incredible product that you formulated for us, and of course it really helps these bald guys like me and Dave Webb, who we use a whole lot of it. But so take us out, Deidre.
Well, first of all, I'm grateful to my friends here, and for everyone that's been willing, that's purchased some, that's embraced it, that's shared it. Yes, get contact information. That's always good. But just being willing to really put it to the test. I knew when I created it for my girls that I wanted to be multifunctional. But it's super simple, you guys. Even though the all 8 things in one product seems crazy, and then when you start really naming off all the stuff it does, it gets stupid. So like, we can't blow people up with all of that. We got to keep it simple, right? But the fact, what it really comes down to is when you give the skin what it needs, when you hydrate it, when you give it the food, the building blocks, and you help with that inflammation, which is the first sign of any disease or imbalance, is inflammation. You take care of that, the skin's amazing. Really, that's what we've talked about today, is how amazing and responsive the skin is. And I just feel so grateful that I get to be a part of this journey with all of you guys. And thank you. Keep it up. And let's just go out there and bless as many lives as possible, everybody. Thanks, everyone, for being a part of tonight. Thank you for having me on, AJ. I appreciate it so much.
Well, thank you so much. And girls, thank you so much for being on. So,
all right, thank you.
We really appreciate it all. We've got, don't forget, tomorrow night, we've got more with the business call tomorrow evening. Then Thursday's the cat call, and Saturday morning with Dennis and Sue Ligon. And more on getting you going with the business. And Monday mornings with Andy Willoughby. You don't want to miss a lot of stuff, lot of great calls that are going on right now. And check them all out. You can find out when all the calls are. Go to empowerplan.com calendar section there, and it'll show you where all the different calls are. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great night. Deidre, thank you so much for a great product.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Bye.